instance, my argument was that I do believe higher education is relevant, but I think that we can improve its relevancy by implementing new programs to change traditional education, such as competency-based education. I feel like it could provide students with a cheaper and faster alternative to a traditional college education. And it's a good way for higher education to stay relevant in today's world.
I agree with that, and I think that going to college gives you a lot more opportunities and can better your future in a lot of ways that not going couldn't do. So
I definitely agree with that too, because even though college can be really expensive, it definitely benefits you in the future. Like, you can get so much out of going to college just besides an education.
Yeah, it might cost a lot to go to college, but your pay will be better in the end.
I agree with that, but I also read that it can impact local impact, government, states, and all wage earners, not just like people that go to college.
I agree because I read that if you graduate college with a degree or have a college education, on average you earn 56% more than if you just graduate high school with a diploma. So going to college definitely benefits you down the road for sure.
So I have a question, kind of building off of what you guys have said. My question was, why don't more people pursue a college education even though there's a large pay increase that comes with it?
What I have to say with that is a lot of people nowadays are like kind of scared, like they don't want to put in the work to get that kind of money. They kind of just want to have it handed to them. They're not willing to put in the hard work to go and earn that degree to where they can be better in life.
Yeah, this generation is definitely like a lot more lazy. Like they don't want to put in all the work that you have to put in to go to college. So yeah, I agree with Ford.
I feel like students don't do it because of like all the debt balloons that they have. And like it leaves like college students wondering if it's even worth going because like the debt that they have to get themselves out of after college.
I definitely agree with Faith because I had an older brother that tried to go to a big university and he dropped out because he felt like there was no point in going to college, which I mean, I don't understand because if you just look at all the evidence, there's a lot saying how it can benefit you and why it's worth it.
yeah, I feel like, well, my brother went to a 4-year right out of high school, and he had fun with it. Like he always planned on doing that. My sister went to a 2-year like community school, and now she's at a big school. So I feel like going to a 2-year is like a lot easier on you too before you transfer to a university.
It's cheaper.
Yeah, and it's a lot cheaper.
And a lot of the time, college is just like really intimidating. Like that's like middle school, high school. That's not that big, but like moving away from home and just like learning to do everything on your own. Like this is your responsibility. You're basically on your own.
And going to a big college can put you in debt for 20 or more years, which, and a lot of people switch their majors or drop out before graduating. So some would pose the question if it's really worth it.
Because a lot of times, like, you may go in planning to do something and, like, totally not want to do it. And, like, switch your major, and then you paid a bunch of money, and, you for the degree that you want.
Going off like what everybody said, like my argument was like you should want to go to college even though there's like a chance you could have debt because like the benefits greatly outweigh the debt in the long run. I had a fact that said about 42% of students at a 4-year public university finish their bachelor's degree without any debt. It just got me thinking that if you put in like the work in high school and you get good grades and like get a lot of scholarships or money off college, you can go to college for free. So I get a lot of it comes down to like putting on in the work in high school and getting good grades.
I also feel like a lot of people are not wanting to go to college just because if they do go to a 4-year university, it's usually a couple hours away, and that can be scary to them. Like they're living by themselves for the first time, and they have to do all this work to get these good grades, especially if they're going to like a difficult college or picking a difficult major. But if you go to a 2-year, then they're usually close to home, and you can still be by all your friends and family, and you can still have help, and still be independent at the same time.
For me personally, college has never really been like an option. It's always been something that my parents have wanted me to pursue. So in my life, higher education is very relevant. And after learning a little bit more about competency-based education, it sounds like a very good approach for a cheaper, faster education. And again, personally, I've been into pursuing a career in psychiatry, which is 12 years of college, which is very overwhelming because everybody here has pretty much said it's very overwhelming and hard to think about becoming independent so young and so quickly. You're going from living with your parents who, I'm assuming most of us, they do quite a lot to help you out in school and within your life. So it's hard to go right from that to a bigger, harder school. But competency-based education can provide a cheaper education, and since you're individualizing your own education, you're able to move through things faster because you can progress quicker through things that you already know to spend more time on things that you don't yet know. And I think that would be a good approach for somebody like me who wants to pursue a career that has a long education before you're able to enter the workforce.
I like a personal thing because like my dad didn't go to college, and it like kind of makes me want to go to college because like I don't think he like enjoys his job that much. Like he doesn't hate it, but he doesn't enjoy it. And like going to college and like getting your degree and everything, it like almost guarantees you like the job you want once you graduate. So like I think that should like that like makes a lot of people want to get a college education.
I agree. I think that college gives you a little bit of an insight into what your career is going to be. So if you go to school for if you go to medical school, then you're gonna know kind of what it's gonna be, especially if you go into a residency before you enter the workforce, then you're gonna see what it's gonna be like. So then you'll know whether or not you'll like that career, you'll have a better idea.
Yeah, like employers, like if you're going up against someone who has a college degree versus someone who doesn't have a college degree, a lot of employers would like want the person with more education who's like know what they're doing more and have background to it.
I agree with what you said, but my stepmom mentioned to me a little while ago that there are some schools, she's a teacher, so there are some schools that would hire someone with, say, a bachelor's degree instead of her, and she has a master's degree because it's simply not in their budget. So though I do agree it's not always true, though it should be, but
I had a fact going off of that. I said, according to Georgetown University Center on Education in the Workforce, the number of employed college grads rose 21% since 2007, while those with a high school diploma saw an 8% decrease in overall employment. So, yeah. And having a college education can like help you get your dream job if you have one.
Going off of that, like the big thing with like college is like it's kind of hard, like especially when you're in high school, trying to figure out what you want to do literally for the rest of your life, which is like one reason why like it's super intimidating, but like that's why it's nice when you can go to like a 2-year university. You can kind of like take these beginning classes. Because my older brother, he went to a 4-year university for forensic investigation, and ended up dropping out of the first semester because he didn't like it at all because it was nowhere near, and ended up going to a 2-year, and now he's back at a 4-year working on a teacher's degree. A lot can change.
I definitely agree with Noah because for a long time I've known what I wanted to do and I've known what college that I wanted to go to, but my brother decided all of these things his last year of high school, and he was kind of rushed into college and rushed into a major because my dad made him do that, and then he ended up going to a 4-year university, and he tried doing that major, and then he ended up not liking it and decided he wanted to change it, but he wouldn't act on it, and then he just ended up dropping out, and now he's going to community college.
I agree with Bailey and Noah. It's a very good idea to start out at a 2-year university to finish up, or 2-year community college university, whatever you choose. But I think that's a better way to start it out because it's cheaper and you get all of your general college classes out of the way if you haven't taken any of them in high school. And it's just I feel like it's a smaller environment, so it's a little less stressful than going right to a huge university your first year out of high school.
Yeah, going to community college will definitely give you the time to grow and understand what college really is like, so you can decide if you want to pursue more or if you just want to keep your community college.
It's an easier transition.
It's like that half step between being an adult and being in high school.
I feel like college isn't just like, well, it's important and it goes towards your future and like what job you're gonna do and like what you're doing for the rest of your life, like I said. But it's also like you get involved in more things, like, and you talk to more people and you become more social because you're living on your own, and it's just like it betters you for your future, and then obviously puts you in a better position for like earning money and things when you start a family or you do that, so you have support behind you.
So do we feel like a lot of people are going to college nowadays, or do you think it's like declining on the amount of people going?
I feel like more people are going to college, but like not for like things that we would like expect. Like not a lot of people are going towards like teaching degrees and stuff. They're more going towards the higher paid occupations because that's where they're gonna make the most money. Or because we've seen a lot of decrease in the trades like construction or welding and all that, and that's like super important. But some majors are like really decreasing in size, but like some are like really increasing.
I don't have like an actual fact on this, but like I was just thinking like a lot of people like Noah said like want to go for like the big money and all that, and then they like get into it, and then they just drop out because they realize like how hard it actually is, or like how long you have to be in college just to do that, like all the medical stuff and all that.
I kind of agree with Noah saying, like, I get that aspect of it, but at the same time, a lot of people are deciding not to go to college because they feel like it isn't worth it, and they feel like they can get a career without putting in that work and putting in that money, which isn't always the case. But like things like YouTube, oh, I want to be a YouTuber when I grow up, but what happens when that ends? Like they have nowhere to go after that.
Going off what Bailey said, like all of us like are basically saying like you should want to go to college, or like that's our argument. But, like a counterclaim for like people is like even like the benefits are greater if you have a college education or degree. Like our economy is doing like super well right now, and there's like so many more jobs in the U.S. right now. So like you can still find like a pretty good job even with like a high school diploma. So like the lazier people who are or just people who don't want to go to college, I feel like they can get a good career without having to put in all that work in college.
I agree with what Kyler said, that there seem to be a lot more opportunities that are coming up with jobs, not the highest paying jobs obviously, but there are a lot more opportunities of jobs that are higher paying, that only require a high school education or smaller degrees like an associate's or a bachelor's, that don't take much to get it. And some people end up going into those professions and they love what they do. And I believe that that's what you should look to, and not like, oh, this job pays 200,000 and I don't really want to do it, but it pays 200,000. But this one pays 50,000 and I would love to do it, but it's only 50,000. I feel like some people go off of the paycheck when really they should be thinking about the long run. You don't want to work a job that pays a lot but you hate it. I feel like I would rather work a job that pays less but you love it.
I totally agree with that.
Right. I've always heard like my parents have always told me a job isn't a job if you like it. It's kind of like just doing something that you love, but if you do something you hate, it's just like a constant burden that like you don't want to do it all the time. Like we always joke about like we hate school and that we don't want to do it. Like it's not going to help us, but like in the long run, it is really helping us to like achieve more stuff in our later lives.
So my article said that a lot of people think higher education is a ticket to the middle class, which of course that would be focusing on the money, focusing on I can live a more comfortable life if I have this money. But we should be focusing on if we'd actually like to do that job and if it would help the economy and our people.
I agree with what Karen said.
So do I, but I feel like because the whole world is like around technology and it's around like all the new things. Like shoes cost like they can cost up to like $1,000 if they feel like it because of the name. So like when people think about that stuff, oh, I want to have a good future for myself and for my kids, they're usually thinking about money and how that money can help them, and not about like what they want to do. And yeah,
I agree with that. I feel like a lot of like people nowadays, or like kids like us, like we all want to go to college and we feel like there's benefits towards it, but there's other kids that are like gonna go to college because their parents want them to, and like they just feel like they need to go to college and they haven't really thought about it, and then they end up not liking it or they're rushed into things like you said your brother was, and it just like stuff doesn't work out, and then they can just, I mean, if they don't do it, there's obviously jobs that they can get, but they may not be the jobs that they like.
Going back to like liking your job and all that, like I feel like if you don't like your job, then you don't work as hard at it, and you're like not working hard, and like I don't know, yeah, that's basically all I have.
That's where I think I chose my article on competency-based education, and that's where I feel like that would be something that would benefit you in college if you use programs like that, because you would be. Kyler was talking more on the workforce level, but going back to education, I think competency-based education would help you become a little bit more interested, because you're not droning on about the same things that you've been learning about since like 7th grade. Because I'm pretty sure every year in science we learned about rocks, and I can tell you right now that I knew enough about rocks and I was kind of over it. So that's a good solution to it, is being able to show proficiency in certain subjects or areas of a subject, so then you can move through them and you become more invested in your education because it's stuff that you don't know anything about, so you're a little more excited to learn new things.
So my article was like kind of like different from all you guys. You guys like said about how it can benefit like a person, but I chose an article about how it can benefit the economy instead, and it benefits our state. An example of that is the University of Minnesota alone produces $6 million in its economy activity for the state. It helps jobs and research, and it improves the health income and outcomes, and like all the stuff that they could advance because college students go to college and the university puts it towards that.
I like what Faith said. I think that we only really pay attention to the cost of college on our end, like that we're putting so much money. It's like a very large investment. You're putting all this money into your education. But some of us don't really consider where your money goes afterwards, and it does really help with the economy. So like if there's a bigger college in like a big city like Chicago, for example, Chicago's getting, I'm assuming, a lot of money from that college, and that college is, it improves the economy in areas where there are institutions that provide higher education for students.
One of the questions I had was, why does like higher education matter like so much to some people, and like some people just like don't care at all about college?
I feel like that's based on like your family views or your own views on what you grew up with. Like I'm going to college because my parents did. My brother is. I'm just kind of expected to go to college. I have no idea what I want to do, but I know that I have to go to college.
I agree with what Corinne said, but because both my parents didn't go to college, and like they kind of like just went for like a few years, and then they like were like, oh, I can't do this because of the money. They want me to go and like have a different experience from like hating jobs that they have now. They want me to have a job that I love.
With my family, my dad went to college and he got a degree in engineering, and I guess you'd say like he's the middle class, like he lives comfortably. And then on the other hand, my mom didn't go to college, and she's not living comfortably. Like she's actually very poor, and it's just interesting to see the different aspects of that for me. Like I really want to go to college because I don't want to end up like that. Like I want to be able to provide for my family, and to be comfortable. And yeah.
I think our parents have a lot of influence on us and like what we want to do, and they want our lives to be better than what they were, just because they care about us. And we just see what they go through, and we want to do better.
And then like going off for like a very long time, like I wanted to be an engineer because that's what my dad did. But like going off and just like asking him questions about like what it's like and like dealing with math and all that other stuff, like I realized that that's not a career for me. But and then going off of that, working, because when we were fixing up my car, he made me there for every step of the way. Because like it's my car, I need to be there, and I was doing hands-on stuff like that. And I realized I love working with my hands, but I don't like the math and stuff like that. So I considered chiropractic or being an auto mechanic. So like it's kind of stuck between the two.
So I like what Bailey said when she compared the lives of her two parents. My stepmom, as I've mentioned, went to school to become a teacher, and she loves most aspects of her job. She recently got a master's degree a few years ago, and she did it all online. But she absolutely loves most parts of her job. It's a little bit difficult for her because she teaches students who have behavioral issues. She gets the worst of the students in her district, and even though she gets beat up, spit on, and other things that don't really need to be mentioned, she loves her job. But the bad part is she spent a lot of money on her education, and she still has a lot of debt that's piled up. Whereas my dad, he I think he started to go to college, but then I think he dropped out after I was born. So he's living comfortably, and my stepmom says that we would have a lot more money if she didn't go to college, but I don't think that she regrets going to college, even though there's so much debt that built up. She loves her job, so she believes that it was worth it. She even pursued a master's after she had started teaching because she loved what she did and she wanted to become more advanced in her field.
Yeah, like I said earlier, like my mom and my dad. I think my mom went to college for a little bit and then dropped out, but my dad didn't go to college and like he doesn't really like his job that much. Like we're living comfortable and everything, but he like doesn't like his job. So like that like makes you want to go to college so like you can get like a job that you enjoy. That's 20 minutes unless anybody has something else to say.
I think we can keep going. We can still ask a few more questions if anybody has any. I feel like we haven't asked too many.
One of my questions was how many of us are planning on going to college, but I think it's kind of been answered because we all pretty much see the same benefits.
So, kind of building off of Allie's question, do we think that more people attend college because it's like not so much forced, but maybe it's expected by their parents, or do you think it's more influenced by like cost and what they're interested in?
I think it's to do with like the cost and like the dollar sign that they see like how much this job offers. They don't really go to college because how much they love it, and then they see the debt and they're like, oh no, I'm done. I can't.
I feel like it's a mix between the two because like going to college now is becoming more normal. Like people are more expected to go to college just because like the advancing fields. But definitely going to college and like looking at colleges and the prices can definitely affect how far you want to go into your education. Like some people go for that bachelor's and get a degree in whatever field they have, but they don't want to put that extra money in to get that the master's or a doctorate.
I think also like your high school grades really like make or like how you do on the SAT or whatever because like if you get an offer or like scholarships and all that and you know you can go to college for free, then I think you'd go. But if you know you're gonna have to pay a bunch of money and all that, then that makes like the decision like a lot harder.
Yeah, my cousin got a free ride for getting, I think, almost a perfect on her SAT. I don't think her job really needs that much college that she's planning on going into, but she's of course going because she has a free ride.
I feel like parents do affect it a lot because what my dad has been telling me is that my first 4 years of college he's paying for. So to me, that's a guarantee. So I'm like, oh, okay, my college is going to be free for me, no debt. Of course I'm going to go. But then I also want to pursue something after that, which I am going to have to pay for, and it's going to be really expensive. But if your parents are paying for all of your college, then why would you not want to go? Like, that's a free education for you that it's end up going to get you more money in the future. So why not go?
I agree.
I agree with what Bailey said. I feel like a lot of people, if they do end up getting scholarships, like what Kyla mentioned, and money from their parents, financial aid, things like that, I feel like it makes it a little bit easier to make the decision between higher education and just going right into the workforce. Because, like Faith said, the dollar sign is a big, big, big part of it. For example, Abby McCuistion and I were talking about Knox College because she met with them during RTI, and she was telling me a lot of things about them, and I became interested until she told me that it's about $58,000 a year, which is insane because I'd have to go to college for 8 years with a 4-year residency afterwards, and that's just, to me, it seems unrealistic to go to a college like that where I'd be paying so much for however many years I do eventually decide to go to college. It's just, the price is a big, big factor, and then, like I mentioned earlier, parents also play a big role because I think all of my parents, since I've done so well in high school and middle school and elementary, I think they expect me to go to college. So it's, like I said, never really been an option to not pursue it.
Yeah, like say you have like a dream school that like you really like have always wanted to go to and everything, and you like find out like how expensive it really is. I think it like pushes you and like to get better grades in high school, so you can like get as much money off as you can, or even like Ren said, like even get a free ride. So that like pushes you in high school to get good grades.
I feel like that's what happened with my brother is because he got a full ride to the University of Illinois, which is a lot of free money, and then he also got into the engineering program like right away, and that was all because of he got really good grades in high school. He got a good grade on his SATs, and then when he got there, it just kind of all fell apart for him. But he was scared.
Colleges nowadays can be like really flexible too, and you can do online classes and it fits your schedule better. And if you want to work a job at the same time, which a lot of people do because they feel like they need money. So overall, I think it's just better for you, and you just need to find like what you want to do and find the position you want to be in.
Going off what I was said with like their flexibility, and going with colleges, a lot of the time you can either get like, depending on if you're like you're a morning person, like if you hate waking up early, you can always do like those later night classes. Like you don't have to be at school at 8 o'clock every day, and especially with college, some days you just don't have classes. Like my older brother, I think he has like every Thursday off. Like he just doesn't have classes that day, or some days he'll have like 2 or 3 classes a day. It's kind of flexibility on where you want to set up the classes.
A question I have is like, what factors do you think people like take that make them drop out? Like they're just like, I'm over this. Like, what factors do you think play into that? Because I feel like it's more than just money.
One big factor that like affected my brother his first semester was like really homesickness. Like he had spent like so much time at home, but then like just going away 2 hours away, that was like really hard on him. Like especially that first semester, like he had a roommate that was absolutely awful, and like he did not like it up there, which I was kind of not really surprised when he came home after that first semester.
That was very similar to what happened with my brother. He actually moved out his senior year, so he wasn't living with us anymore. He's living with his friends. So when he got to college, I think it was more of missing the friend aspect of it, and then him actually not going out and trying to make new friends and actually participating in things. And then he also had a roommate that he didn't like, and I feel like they were both in an engineering program too, and I think that just like, and the roommate was succeeding more than he was, and I think that just had like a great toll on him, and then everything just kept piling up, and then felt done.
Yeah, I feel like the roommate part of it plays like a big role. Like if you have a roommate that sucks or like makes bad decisions or whatever, like that would really want to make not be there anymore.
Yeah, that's why my mom like dropped out when she was in college because she just didn't like the people that were out of college and like how her roommates were when they came home and she was trying to study.
Going off of, sorry,
No,
going off of what Bailey and Noah said, for me personally, again, I think that it's very scary because I've been looking into Northern Illinois University, which is kind of, it's not terribly far away from my family, but I find it hard to leave my family for very long. Like I go on week-long vacations with my dad sometimes in the summer, and I find it hard to leave my mom for that long, just because I've grown up around her. She's helped me for everything, and it's really hard to just even think about leaving my family for that long because I'm hardly ever without them. So that's definitely something that I think would influence it. And then another thing would just be thinking, like, after 12 years already of schooling, I think college can just, like, some people at that point are just over it and they realize that it's not for them. It's not something they want to do. Some people just, they drop out because they know that that's not where they should be. And I think some things that would influence it for sure.
I feel like another big factor is like the stress of it. Like in high school, a lot of your classes are not horrible, which is like why it's really important for us to take these advanced classes. To like, especially with like the honors US, that's a big jump from what we were used to a sophomore year. But like that's what it's gonna be like in college. Like, and that's like one thing that I feel like really freaks people out is you're used to these easy workloads and you don't have to like worry about deadlines and stuff. But like in college, you're gonna have to like big papers, like 12-page papers. And we've never had to write like over 6. Like it's really intimidating, along with the stress factors. Like that's not just one class. You have like 8 other classes that you have to worry about, and it's just super stressful.
Going off of like what John said earlier about like your family and like being away from your family, like when you're in high school and like, you go on vacation with someone else, like for me personally, like I'm fine that I'd be with my family if I'm like with my friends and like having fun, but like college is totally different because like you're not having fun all the time, you're doing schoolwork and you could be getting stressed out, and like when it comes down to that, I think you really want to like be back with your family when you're not always having fun and you're doing school and you have a bunch of schoolwork to do.
Going back to what Noah said, it also depends on like what high school you go to. Because at Fallon High School, it's not hard to succeed here. Like it's pretty easy to get good grades if you want to try that. And then if you go to like a school in Chicago that's really big and it has like harder education, it's gonna be an easier jump to go to college if you go to like a school in Chicago versus here where it's really easy and you don't have to try hard to go trying very hard and being very stressed out.
Yeah, I feel like that plays a big factor in people like dropping out because they're just not prepared. Like they have like little like towns, they aren't ready, but like big towns, they already know what to expect when they get into college. As us, it's kind of like we're just jumping in and we don't know it's like what the tests are going to be like and what the papers are going to be like.
Would the following students please report to the office? Dawson Christensen, Allison Carell, Pedro Quasel, Annabelle Rose, Megan Bailey, Brennan Bly, Colton Lane, Allison Hughes, Drew Dykstra, Alex Hartman, Connor Carell, Bradley Damhoff, and Ethan Long to the office, please.
Okay, so real quick, going off of what Faith said, I forgot what Faith said. But I did have something, I promise. So yeah, that was a good discussion.
So basically, it's relevant for.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think we all agree that higher education is relevant.
Yeah, we all agree.
Okay, good job, guys.
Let's go, baby.